by Nottingham Forest. And Gibbs White is.
You're not convinced.
Well, let's just say we teach that on Thursdays in my diving camp.
So Manchester City, 2-0 winners over Nottingham Forest. Almost 60% possession, despite the fact they played almost the entire second half. A man down, and there you see what it means for the top of the Premier League standings. Manchester City, 18 points from 6 games. And now Manchester United there, up into the top half of the table. 8th. All right, here's what Pep Guardiola had to say about the Rodri red card after the match. Quote, "I said at halftime, be careful, guys. The game has been in a position where we are comfortable. Relax, control your emotions. Unfortunately, Rodri didn't do it. Hopefully, Rodri will learn. The game was perfect for 35 minutes, and after that, it became a little bit chaos. That wasn't our responsibility, that's for sure, but Rodri had to control himself and his emotions because I can get a yellow card, but I don't play." He did get a yellow card, worth mentioning. So standards are different there, Don. What do you make of what Pep Guardiola says? And then what do you make of the red card for Rodri?
Well, he's spot on what he said. And, you know, the level of detail from Guardiola and his backroom staff. When Ederson got a yellow card on 58 minutes, just shy of an hour, Pep got the kit man to run around the side of the pitch and remind Ederson not to time waste late on, fearing he might get the second yellow as well. I think the Rodri one, Sebi, is out of character. But when you look at the laws of the game and the rules of the game, if you strike any opponent on the chest or the neck, it is an immediate red card. The reaction of Morgan Gibbs-White's not great. They were more aggressive. But at the same time, I thought Pep was very, very smart in his substitutions. He went to the 3 at the back, and Akanji, Ruben Diaz, I thought was sensational. And Vardy played as a 3 once they went down to 10. And they never really looked like conceding. But it was just the stress of Rodri getting sent off and the ban and the three-game ban that he's going to receive and he's going to get.
Shako, what do you make of what Pep said there? It's okay for him to get a card, just not his players.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely right. On the other hand, though, once they go down to 10 men, it becomes fairly even. I thought Forest fared well against the 10 minutes to 10. I'm kind of thinking that maybe that's a plan. Need to pass a law that whenever City play against a team in the bottom half of the table, they have to play with 10 men. We might have a title race on our hands after all, because up until that point it was smooth sailing for City. And Pep Guardiola knows when you have a game won as it was at 2-0, and you expect it to be, you are at that point your own worst enemy, and Rodri proved exactly that. So. Pep's correct in what he said. Hopefully it's a learning moment. I will say it does. Let me not say it opens the door for Arsenal. But if Arsenal cannot beat Manchester City without Rodri, let's just start carving a name on the trophy right now.
There's a lot to like about Phil Foden. It's just consistency and productivity is really the only thing that I think has been a question for him. How is he going to find that consistency and productivity? Being on the field. How is he going to remain on the field? Being consistent and being productive. And those things just go together. In regards to Rodri, I think what's a shame here is that I can make a very comfortable argument that Rodri had been the best player for Manchester City this season so far. And what they're going to miss in him is not just the presence, it's not just his ability to distribute the ball, but I think he has added something consistently to his game, which is an ability to actually be a presence in the attacking half. Has scored goals for Manchester City, important goals going back towards the end of last season and what he has done early this year. Rodri, I think, honestly, if you evaluate this team in the early part of the year, he has been their best player. They're going to miss that over the next 3 matches.
Don, how big a miss is Rodri going to be for Manchester City, especially thinking about that game on October 8th against Arsenal?
Massive, because I agree with Ali. I think there's, taking Erling Haaland aside, I think when you pick a Man City team and you think who's irreplaceable, I think Rodri's one of them. I think he's got a high-level football IQ. I mean, we're talking off the back of a red card, so the timing's slightly off. But in terms of the last 2 or 3 seasons where he started to add goals, I watch him all the time, Ali, Sebi. He's never got a sweat on. He's always in the right position. He plays the game very smart. His passing is immaculate, never gives the ball away. He's a dream footballer for Guardiola. So they're going to miss him. The positive side, when you think of a Guardiola side, when they do play Arsenal in a few weeks' time, he might have Bernardo Silva back. I think his injury is short-term. He might have John Stones back to play that position. Calvin Phillips done quite well today. Matheus Nunes deserves a mention. I thought he was magnificent as well. So I wouldn't feel too sorry for Pep when he looks at the 4 or 5 players that are going to knock on his door and ask to play in Rodri's position.